The main event. Let's go. Lock in. We got why 5 ways that men live their lives through women. This is something that I saw a woman do a video on, and I said, you know, she's absolutely right about how men live their lives through women. They basically don't have an identity much outside of how they relate to women. Now, let's tell you about the obvious reasons why men live their lives through women, and then we'll get into some not so obvious reasons. But this is an important conversation about the free agent lifestyle and treating yourself well, learning how to treat yourself well before you consider treating other people and women well. Okay, so the most obvious glaring example of men living their lives through women is that when men are not successful with women, they look at their life as a waste. Okay, their self-esteem is in the toilet. Okay, so they can't get women. Women ignore them. They're part of the 60% of men that are somewhat mostly invisible. Women never consider these guys. They mostly don't fraternize or date these guys at all. Women don't realize this. They'll talk about how they date certain guys that cheat and give them bad experiences. They don't realize these are 20 or 30% of what represents men. They're not dealing with 60% of men for sure. 60% of men are not getting dealt with. Statistically, this bears out. Research tells us this. These men are not considered, and women don't realize this. And I'll tell them, women will be like, that's not true. I'm like, when you go outside, how many men do you actually recognize? Then when you go outside, how many men are actually attractive to you? And then they start to tell you, I only see maybe a half a guy that's attractive on a daily basis. Well, that means you've ignored 90% of men. Like, you are absolutely ignored. Like, did you see the guy when you pulled into Target that was pushing 25 carts? Did you see him? No. You completely missed him. You didn't see them. But that was a man. Now, it might have been a man that was suitable for you, but that was a man that completely you just discarded. Okay. Then you saw a guy, he was a little bit too short, completely discarded him. He was nothing to you. You could get nothing from him. He was uninteresting to you. And that he was older, younger, too young, too old, not even a possibility. What about if he was married? Not a possibility. Completely discarded. He had a recessed chin. He wasn't handsome. He was fat. Completely discarded. Now, every now and then they'll deal with a guy like that, and that will be the anecdotal evidence. Oh, I had a fat boyfriend. I had a short boyfriend. I had an old boyfriend. I had a younger boyfriend. Yeah, those are rare exceptions. You probably dealt with the same 20 or 30% of men. The statistics bear this out. This is not to be disputed. But what we're overwhelmingly saying is that most men who cannot get access to women have lower self-esteem, lack of confidence, and it's not because they're a loser in society. It's not because they're ugly. It's because they don't have access to women. So in their world, they have a bad life because they can't get a wife, because they can't get girlfriends, because they can't get laid. They oftentimes look at their life, despite the fact that they might be able to play a flute or a violin in an orchestra. They might be on a bench of a NAIA basketball team, but because they can't get access to the women they want or get access or recognized from women in general, they have a lower self-esteem. Okay? So that's one way, obvious way, that men live their lives through women. Now, then the other part of it, on the other side, men who are somewhat successful with women, they actually feel more confident. They have a belief that women do things for them because they're special, which is somewhat true, right? I get hoes. I get women. Women like me. Women pay for me. This is an example of how men live their lives through women when they're successful with women, because they feel like they're better, despite the fact that they might be a loser in society across the board. They may be broke. They may live on a twin mattress. They may live with their mama. They may not have 2 dimes to rub together. They may not have a place to live, but because they're successful with women, gives them the general belief that their life is better and they are better people. Okay. Okay. So they're a loser to the world, but a winner because they win with women. Same thing as the guy that can't win with women. He's a winner in the world, but because he can't get access to women, he feels bad. That's the example number 1 of how men live their lives through women. Okay. So think about that. Think about that. They both are related to each other. They both are related to each other, but both see that their value is summed up by their performance with women. And I'll also add to that, men who are married. So let's say you're single. I'm single and I date multiple women. Sometimes I'm successful, sometimes I'm not. Another guy will say, well, you're living life wrong. Your whole life is wrong. Not your career, not your wealth. Your whole life is wrong because you have to go through multiple women. None of them have married you. But he'll say, I'm married over here and I'm a husband and I represent family. We don't know anything about your wealth. We don't know anything about your economics. We don't know anything about your status or your success or your career path. You just simply said your life is better because you have a wife. That's example number 1. Again, how men live their lives through women. Your life is fucked up because you're single or divorced. She left you. Your life is in shambles. You're unhappy. But I'm happy because I got a wife. And that's the only qualifier. That's the only qualifier. Nothing else matters but the fact that some woman said yes to your marriage proposal. Are you following me here? Let's go to the next example. When it comes to how men treat themselves, it can be said that men do not treat themselves well until there's a woman involved in their lives. Now, we can see this, but a man will say, I can eat cheap tacos and Taco Bell when they're single. When they're in a relationship or married, they then have to do a little bit more than cheap tacos and Taco Bell. They can't do top ramen, Taco Bell, and eat leftover spaghetti. Then they'll be more likely or inclined to do a little bit better to provide minerals, preservatives, ions and niacins So guess what? I got to do it a little bit better of drinking more water, going to better restaurants, trying restaurants that you would never try on your motherfucking own, going to fancier restaurants, middle status restaurants. You're now going to go to these places because the only reason why is because you have a girlfriend. Now, when you don't have a girlfriend or wife, you're going to do regular shit. You'll sit at home eating 5-day leftover spaghetti. You don't go outside. Men won't go to bars and nightclubs. They won't go to places like this because they're like, well, I'm single and I don't want a relationship. So why go out and enjoy life? I can save more money sitting at home doing nothing. But then when a girlfriend shows up or they have an interest in women, guess what they start doing? They start going to nicer places. They start going to bars and nightclubs. They start hanging out later at night. They start doing things that are perceived as, hey, I'm going to enjoy life. So you don't enjoy life when women aren't the priority, but then you start to want to enjoy life when you want to put women on the goddamn chopping block. Okay. Then when you see a guy enjoying his life that's going to do this, why are you going to these expensive steak restaurants? People are confused. That's why you go by yourself. Why are you going by yourself? You can cook steak at home. Okay. That steak ain't worth it. But then when you go on a date, for some reason, you might go to a steak restaurant that you never would have went to by yourself. And we can see this when it comes to what women do. When they do things, they go out and have fun. They go out and have fun. When they're with their girls, they go out and have fun. They go to day clubs. They go to nightclubs. They go to restaurants. They go to hotels. They go to hotels with men who pay. They're going to go have some fucking fun. They're going to let their hair down. They're going to go on girls trips. They're going to have 4 or 5 bleeding punanis in a hotel room, one hotel room. They're going to shack up. They're going to spend bread. They're going to do something. They're going to get to the fun. Men typically pull back on fun. They pull back on hobbies. They pull back on, they'll even say, why buy a nice car? These women don't appreciate nice cars. It ain't gonna get you no hoes. Wait a minute, you're buying the car for the woman, and inherently we do. We buy cars, we buy things, nice clothes. Niggas don't dress nice until a woman's involved. When they don't have a woman involved, they dress like bums. And they'll vouch for it. Yeah, why dress up? These women don't notice it anyway. These are examples of how men live their lives through women. They don't treat themselves well. Why get a manicure and pedicure? Why dudes will be out here with a fucked up haircut? Well, I ain't dating anyway, and these hoes don't respect good hair. They'll have a fucked up hairdo because these hoes ain't gonna recognize it. Oh, say you're not gonna clean up because you're not gonna go after women? Like, this is crazy. So why don't you just clean up for yourself? Why don't you clean up for yourself? Nope. Hair all nappy, hair all matted and nappy. All because women, the way women treat them. When men buy things or go on trips, vacations, or you go on a vacation and they see you with a woman, they're gonna call you a trick. You tricking off on these women. Why? Look at you at that football game, in that boxing match, and on that boat, and you in that nice car. You tricking. Let me get this straight. Because I'm on a boat, because I'm at a boxing match, because I'm at a football game, because I am enjoying life, you think I'm doing that for the woman. You think I only did that for the woman. Why couldn't I have done that for myself and invited her? Because men live their lives through women. They only assume that you're doing good things to impress the woman, not to enjoy it yourself. And that's another way that men live their lives through women. They assume that just because you're enjoying it, that you're doing it for the woman. So even though it's not his way of living life, he sees you living life through women. And that's the only way he can see the reason you're doing nice things is because you're trying to impress and trick off on that woman. Men live their lives through women. They don't take care of themselves until there's a woman involved. Data shows that men are happier when they're in marriages, which I would say, I don't think so, but hey, there are some men that are excessively codependent. If that's the case, it is true. Men have a more positive experience and outlook in life when they have a wife. I can't dispute the data because there are men like this. Let me give you another example. There are men that say, my life was not headed in a good direction until this woman came along and she encouraged me to study, encouraged me to open a bank account, encouraged me to fix my credit, and encouraged me to start dressing well. There are other people that say men dress well when they're with a woman because she starts to help him dress. This is another example of men living their lives through women. You mean to tell me you never considered opening a bank account? You never considered checking your credit? You never considered how to study properly until a woman came along? You mean to tell me that that's what it took? Not a sense of purpose, not a sense of trying to discover what works for you in society, where you can better make more money, how you can encourage to make your life a lot better. Your life changed because you learned how to study better because this girlfriend came and told you how to make note cards. This woman said, you know what? You don't have a checking account? Perhaps I should teach you and take you to open a checking account. You mean it took a girl to make you aware that you don't have online bill pay? Yes, there are men like this. And there are men that will brag about this and talk about it and talk about how wonderful this woman was because she came along and taught him how to do the bare minimum. Yep, my girl did my taxes for me. What? I mean, I get it, but damn, is that what it took? She had to sit me down and gather all my receipts and gather all my W-9s. Like, oh man, it's bad. Otherwise, the man's life is in shambles. They might know how to do one thing, but then their life is in shambles across the board. This is yet another example how men live their lives through women. Let's talk about this. Men will choose the school they go to, the job, career track that they select based on women. Now, we've all done this as men, some more than others. Men have thought about being a gynecologist, a massage therapist, a personal trainer. They had the whole, I'm going to go to this university because they got better hoes. They got better girls here at Michigan State versus Michigan. So I'm going to go to that school. I'm going to go to Florida State. I'm going to go to Miami. I'm going to go to USC. I'm going to get this career and make more money so I can get women. I'm going to major in business administration. I'm going to be a crypto bro, podiatrist, foot doctor. I'm going to go take yoga because there's women in there. I'm going to go take Pilates because there's women in there. I'm going to be a DJ. I'm going to be a DJ at a strip club. Men have programmed their entire careers in life and education based on women. Rapper, I'm going to be able to get women and hoes. Unfortunately, men spend the better part of their lives doing this only to wake up. Now, some of you guys are lucky enough to be able to become these jobs, and we call them red pill jobs. Like you become a DJ at a strip club. Shout out to the Better Bachelor. You become a personal trainer, and then you realize there's some perks, but it ain't all what it's cracked up to be. Or you'll have somebody jump up here and say, I'm a personal trainer. I sleep with all these husbands' wives, right? And they'll confirm to you, man, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll have a better chance at pussy if I become a personal trainer. Maybe if I go to USC and major in business, I'll be around all of these other women that the incentive and the perks are always women through jobs. Yeah, if I'm a car mechanic, I can offer some woman to fix their car for free and get some pussy. You see what I'm talking about? Like, men have done this, and they have programmed their lives for the first 30 years of their lives, sometimes the first 34 years of their lives, sometimes the first 40 years of their lives, chasing this dragon, trying to improve their financial situation to get a woman to like them. Vice versa, there are men that actually believe that women like broke niggies. So why do I have to work hard if all of these broke niggies are getting the prime pussy in Atlanta, Zone 6? Hey, all these brokies are getting pussy for free. Why do I have to work hard and become a better human being and a better man and a better contributor to society? If this broke nigga's getting ass, I might as well stay broke. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me you don't hear this on the internet. You hear this on the internet. Well, these rich guys, these trick-ass millionaires, they really don't like you. They just like your lifestyle. They really like the broke guys. Because these broke guys be smashing for free. While you paying for it, a broke guy's getting it for free. What they're trying to say is, I'd rather just be broke and get it for free than to work hard and elevate myself and have to trick off on women who really don't like me. They just like the lifestyle. They don't like you, coach. They just like the lifestyle and the money. The really guy that they like is the one fucking them for free, the broke guy. So that's another example of men who live their lives through women. Your whole life and your whole viewpoint of life is how women like you. And then you can do the lowest effort you possibly can because the lowest effort niggas win. The guys who really got the money and the lifestyle, the girls really don't like them. They don't like them. They just using them. They just around because you providing, and then they go home and fuck they cheat bum boyfriend. Well, does that happen? It does. However, does it matter when you got money? It don't. It only matters when you don't have money. Okay? It only matters when you don't have money and you figuring that, well, it's harder for me to get money and it's easier for me to be a broke nigga and try to fuck these women on the side. Let me see something here, checking something. Tell me I'm not lying. We hear this all the time. Now I'm going to go through some other things that were brought up. It says right here, self-esteem is tied to romantic validation. Many men unconsciously anchor their self-worth to how women perceive and treat them. A woman's attention, affection, or rejection can dramatically shift a man's confidence. This is partly cultural. Men are often taught that getting the girl is a measure of success. So when a woman pulls away or loses interest, a man may internalize it as a personal failure rather than simply being incompatible. So this happens in divorce. What happens in divorce? You got divorced. She divorced you. You didn't leave her because statistically that's the case. Nobody ever believes that the man left her. Everybody always believes that the woman left him. Why? You wasn't hitting it right. Oh, you wasn't hitting it right. And she probably went to somebody that was hitting it right. Is there some truth in that? Yes. Is that the only reason? No. Is it going to work out for the man that's hitting it right? No. Is it going to be a better situation if that woman leaves you? Yes, your life is going to get better. You didn't lose. Your life is going to get better. Look at my life. It got dramatically better. But most men see it as a loss. I did something wrong. Or they'll take the blame. The next one is men take care of themselves better while in relationships. Research consistently shows that men in relationships eat better, sleep more, drink less, and visit doctors more regularly. That's a sad testimony on men if that's the truth. And most people will say that that's the truth. Now, there's ulterior motives there, but that just shows you, it goes to show you that men live their lives through women. They don't even take care of themselves. They don't even go to the fucking doctor. It says many men simply don't prioritize their own health and hygiene until a woman is in the picture. This raises an important question. Why are men conditioned to neglect themselves when no one is watching and only perform self-care as a social or romantic act? Sad, but true. Sad, but true. Next one, social life and ambition activated by women. Men often become more socially active. goal-oriented, and presentable when pursuing or impressing a woman. They'll join gyms. Yeah, men are joining gyms specifically for women. That's one of the first things on your mind. And what kind of hoes are there? They'll upgrade their wardrobe, attend events, travel, and then build better habits. All these things they might not do for themselves alone. They're going to do it for women. They might not do it for themselves alone, or it's not going to be 100% for themselves. While this can be positive, it also reveals that many men lack intrinsic motivation and rely on romantic pursuits as their primary driver for self-improvement. So this has been a thing. This has been a thing in many of the self-improvement communities, that most of the self-improvement is done for the woman. Okay, it is hard to sell for men that you're doing self-improvement for yourself, right? So I had a book, Free Agent Lifestyle, that said your goal is to self-improve for yourself, right? You're going to make money for yourself. Then as a result, you'll have leverage and options, and then you can reconsider how you associate with women. But across the board, it's hard to sell that to men. You can look directly at my content, and I'm going to show you examples of this. Just take my content for itself, and I've been pointing this out for a long time, and people really don't know how to deal with it. If you look at when I produce content, if I produce content that is very standard, okay, the views are less, way less. 190 likes. What is this video about? This video says, oh, it's going to freeze up. 190 likes. There's 300 likes. It's just me talking about it here. But then I say right here, men are delusional about 50-50 relationships. The conversation shifts. People start watching. Then when you go up and I'd include women in the video, look at how the engagement spikes. Just including a woman in the video. The interest in it spikes. The view spikes. The watches spike. All of that. Now take a look at this video side by side. This video has no woman in it. No, it's got less than 1,000 likes. This video has women in it, almost 1,900 likes. Just like that. Just like that. This video over here, let's go up here. This video right here went viral. 45,000 likes. Let's scroll back down. That's me talking right there. That's got 6,000 likes, 500 likes, 1,000 likes, 1,600, 400, 300, 362 likes, 300, 190, so forth and so on. Because really what men care about, is the result. Oh, women are a result of the free agent lifestyle? Okay, now I'm interested. Because I thought you were saying don't deal with women at all, segregate yourself. Oh, we can talk to women? Okay, let me see how we're doing here. Then you also have people who aren't paying attention to me at all, who aren't interested in my content until I have women involved in the content. So even the people who are not supportive, once I put a video out, it doesn't register to them. Now I put a video out with a woman, now they're going to come in with all their preconceived notions, their judgment, and now they have something to say about my lifestyle. But I have 8 years of content featuring no women at all. And the views over time have gone steadily down because people say it's predictable or there's no interest. What is he talking about? Self-improvement, getting more money. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. Oh, he's with a woman. He's with younger women. He's with non-black women. He's with foreign women. Now we are paying attention. Because men live their lives through women. Now people are going to say, Coach, man, why you keep posting this shit? Well, because people keep looking at it. Why am I not going to post it? Okay, the evidence is there. The evidence is there. Y'all care now because there's women. Now I can include you in agent lifestyle, the money mindset. Now I can include you into the fucking message. Now you're listening to me. All right, let me see this. And I'll show you even on YouTube. I was like, wow. Even on YouTube. Let's show you the results over there. I think I can show you over on YouTube. Here I am talking on the stage right here. Just talking. 5.3K views, 4.3K, 5K, 2.5K, 3.2K, 29K, 15K. Okay, just like that. Boom, jumps up. Let's show you the other channel. Let's show you the other channel over here, Notorious CGA. Let's go to the shorts. Where's it at? I think they're down here lower. The demonstration right here. Okay, I'll scroll down before I start showing women right here. That's me in Vienna, Austria, 2.2K, me in Miami Beach, 3.3K, and all of that. Now, when I show women, 9.5K, 20K, 9.2K. There's 20K over here. There's 8K right here. There's a woman in that video. There's 12K. There's a woman in that video. There's 7.2K. There's 13K, 24K, 10K. You see how the move? There's 18K here. You see how the numbers jump up? There's a woman in the video. Now, every now and then a video will go viral without the woman. Yes, I've had videos that go viral without them. But it's like clockwork. People start engaging. People start commenting. People start saying things, whether they support it or don't support it. So you have that. People look at it and go, they want to hate on it. Well, that's engagement. People want to have a comment. They want to go in there and say trick ass millionaire. They want to throw their shade. They want to throw their support. People are more interested. And that's because men live their lives through women. Let's give you this one right here. Emotional outsourcing. Many men rely heavily on women, partners, mothers, sisters, and their primary emotional support system. Studies show men are far less likely to maintain deep friendships or seek therapy, leaving women to carry the emotional labor in relationships. You might agree with any of this or not. Women in relationships, when the relationship ends, men often fall apart faster and harder than women because they outsource all of their emotional regulations to their partner. Last one, identity shifts around women. Men frequently change their hobbies, social circles, schedules, and even personalities based on the women in their lives. When men are in pursuit mode, men might adopt a woman's interest. This happens. Doesn't happen to all people, but let me give you an example of that. When you're in a relationship, do you watch Love Island? When you're in a relationship, do you watch motherfucking The Bachelor or The Bachelorette? But when you get into a relationship, guess what you're doing? You're more likely going to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, The Bachelorette, Love Island, Bachelor. You're more likely going to watch this. You're more likely going to sit there and watch it with her. You're less likely going to be like, nah, let's watch Monday Night Football. Let's watch Monday Night Raw. Let's watch Monday Night Nitro. You're going to watch movies that you never would have watched. This is an example of what they're saying. You're going to change your habits and personality based on the women in your life. You're going to change your schedules. How many times, and be honest, have you tried to schedule a date with a young lady or a woman, and you had some other thing that you were going to do, or you had work, or you had to study, and instead you scheduled the date with the woman? Women will do this all the time. I'll be like, you'll tell them, I got to work, I got to study, and she'll be like, I look good tonight. You're going to miss this. And you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. And you really, literally reschedule your other thing. You drop it. You make it less of a priority. You leave work early to try to beat traffic and meet that woman on a date, only for her to fucking flake. Much of your frustration is not that she flaked. It's that because you gave up something that you wanted to do or needed to do, and you made it a priority to put her in front of it, and she didn't respect that you did that. You left work early, okay? Or you didn't go to the work meeting on the network, and then you like, damn, this bitch flaked on me because I had this to do, and instead I scheduled with her. Well, that's your fucking fault because you live your life through women. You should have followed your purpose and your fucking task first, and fuck that bitch. I got another woman that could come through later, or another woman that can fit the time schedule. All right, fuck that bitch. We do this all the time. How many people watch Coach Greg Adams when they're in a relationship versus watching me when you're not in a relationship? Think about it. Many men get in a relationship and she starts soaking your balls, and guess what? You stop watching Coach Greg Adams because you're in a relationship. I don't need to watch that nigga. Fuck that nigga. When you're out of the relationship and she hit you on the head, square between the motherfucking temples, all right, square between the motherfucking eyebrows, now you back watching me, blasting it, watching 5 hours of the live stream. But when you get in a relationship with her, you stop watching. You stop watching any of this content related to this. This is an example of what they're talking about. It says right here, men frequently change their hobbies, social circles, schedules, and even personalities based on the women in their lives. In pursuit mode, a man might adopt a woman's interest. In a relationship, he might drop his friends to spend more time with her. Women generally don't do this. They'll do it for a little while until they get you secure and committed. Okay. When you're secure and committed, she starts saying, I need to go to girls' nights out. I need to go to the girl trip. I had a girl vacation trip planned, and she will speed up the love bombing so you can commit. And as soon as you commit, she going on a trip. How many times has that happened to you? You were like, damn, we just got together. Oh yeah, I got a girls trip. I'm gonna go hang out with the girls. Now she got to go to brunch. Now she got to go to girls' nights out because she got the commitment. Now you, on the other hand, you get the commitment for her, and all your friends can kick fucking rocks. Because why? I got to stay cuddled up with her, grabbing ass, grabbing titties, so forth and so on. You got to soak and spend quality time with her, and all of your interest and emotional interest and interest goes into her. You ain't got time for your buddies too much. Then she might even complain because women get jealous and territorial. Why you hanging out with them? Why can't you hang out with me? Why can't I hang out with y'all and them? I'm fun too. Why can't you bring me to the game? So then you got to consider, well, I guess I can bring you to the game. I guess I don't have to hang out with Joe and Kelly and them. Okay. Let's give you the rest of it. It says this fluidity of identity around women suggests that men haven't developed a strong, independent sense of self. Their identity becomes reactive rather than self-defined. This is even the red pill, if you will. Much of the red pill is Captain Save-A-Hose. Much of the red pill basically try to restrict and control women as much as possible so they can get a chance to get them. Let's ban OnlyFans. Let's stop Instagram models and hoes. They basically shame women for reaching out and being independent, so that limits their options. All right, dating changed since women can get on social media and dating apps. So we need to get rid of dating apps so that I have a chance to get that woman. But I don't have a chance to get that woman because she's an Instagram model. She has Instagram reach. She has a dating apps. She has OnlyFans. She has a get flown out. She has sugar daddy apps. So because of these things, I can't be successful with women. Instead of adapting. Okay, this is the environment, and it ain't going away. Instagram didn't go away. Duck lips didn't go away. Bitches posing with their fucking moose knuckle out didn't go away. Dating apps didn't go away. OnlyFans didn't go away. Get flown out didn't go away. 48 sugar daddy apps didn't go away. But you're dependent on all of these things going away, so you have a better chance. Hypergamy ain't go away. 80-20 rule didn't improve. So what you try to do is take it back to 1950, Andrew Wilson, strip back, try to finesse them, ecclesiastical marriage, as if anyone's going to agree to that. No woman's going to fucking agree to that. You're crazy. But it sounds like a good idea. No woman's going to agree to that. Not even his woman agreed to that. So he sold you a fucking bill of goods. You saw it as a way to beat the system, but none of you bitch ass niggas are going to bring up ecclesiastical marriage to their fucking wife. Okay? Or their potential wife. None of you niggas. All right? Because data shows us you live your life through women. Soon as she hears your nigga say ecclesiastical marriage, she going to drop your ass on the motherfucking forehead, on your head. She going to drop you like a bad habit because she got options. Those are the 5 ways that men live their lives through women. Across the board, positive or negative. And it's the undisputed truth. Hard for you, because if you look at my book, Free Agent Lifestyle, it basically is a manual to improve yourself for yourself. It's hard to sell. It's easier to sell, for me to sell confidence, game, cold approach, opening lines, not leading with your wallet, how to improve your Instagram or dating profile. That's easier for me to sell. And a lot of people make some money selling that. Even using sugar daddy profiles to finesse women. Men try to sell that, and they'll do it for a little while, and then they won't make money. They'll make it they'll make a little bit of money, and then they'll just keep pivoting their content. Me, on the other hand, I stayed true 100% to the message. All right, from the beginning to the end, from tip to buzzer. My message is improve yourself for yourself, develop your own sense of identity and hobbies and independence, even if you had a bad relationship or not, and then build that leverage and options to win. You'll have abundance. That's hard. Men don't want to accept it because it seems impossible. I can't do that. I can't wait it out. I'll be like, how long can you go without dating? Men are still negotiating. Black men are starting to try to still negotiate with black women on how to make better relationships. Guys, you realize you're fucked in that conversation? Black women are not stepping backwards at all for you wannabe pimps, players, and max to make better relationships in the black community. They're not giving up their rights or any of their progress or any of these senses of accomplishments, degrees, buying houses. They're not giving that up to submit to you broke ass niggas. All right. So you guys are trying to save the community by saving these women, attempting to save these women and providing nothing. All right. Not even giving them nothing but hard dick and bubble gum. You can't negotiate that. That is a sinking ship. Even when they come to the table to negotiate, they're coming in halfway, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because they know they can reach back to all of these other things. You don't have it. You don't have enough. So if you think your sense of accomplishments are going to be through obtaining and getting relationships with black women, you're going to be motherfucking hamstrung. You're going to have one hand tied behind your back with your shoestrings laced together. You ain't going to have a relationship, let alone a submissive relationship. You're going to probably marry a ran-through, a leftover, a stepmom, single mama. You're not getting that negotiation. You're not getting Coretta Scott King, nigga. You're not getting Ike and Tina Turner. You're not getting motherfucking Iceberg Slim, and you're not getting that. You're not getting any of these things. All right, so you're going to try to attempt to negotiate that. Well, that means you don't have leverage and you live your life through women trying to talk themselves to the motherfucking table. You ain't doing it. But you can do, and the only thing you can do is build enough leverage to where that's not your only option. Then you might have 1 or 2 black women go, I'll get in where I fit in. Okay? Because that's what I have. I have 1 or 2 black women that get in what they fit in. They get what they get from me, and they go do whatever the fuck they do, and I don't hear from them. They don't bother me. They don't argue with me. They don't fuss or fight. All right? So now I can deal with them. But then to try to convince all these other black women to submit and hit them over the head with Bible verses and tell them they black ass, you own they pussy and all that shit, and you niggas don't have nothing but a twin mattress. All right, you're negotiating because you live your life through women and you can't live otherwise. You don't have the ability to achieve success in any other mode. You also don't have the ability or the outlook to secure money without needing to secure money for women. Then you see men spending money on women and think they're spending all their money on women, and they ain't even spending 1/5 or 1/6 of their money on women, and they get exactly what they want. You can't see it because the little money he's spending is way more money than you actually got. It's hard, but it's the truth, and I'm here to tell you the truth. If you don't want to hear it, go fuck yourself. Anyway, I don't care what you think. It's the main event. And somebody said, all that shit is content. For real, nigga. He said, you're a fool if you think niggas really care, bro. They care. They care, bro. There's men out here that care, all right? And there's men out here like, wake up, man. That girl really doesn't like you. You think I care, nigga? You think I didn't know that? I'm 50 years old. And by the way, she probably liked me way more than she likes you. All right, so I don't know if that helps you either. She likes me way more than she would ever like you. So there's that. And trust me, when I'm squeezing her lungs, she likes it. Press 1 in the chat if you're a lady here and that I'm pressed up on your lungs. All right, then you liked it. All right, don't say it out loud. Be quiet, ladies. Don't tell them because it's gonna hurt these niggas' feelings. They out here thinking I was an incel the whole time and couldn't get women and I only had to trick on them and I couldn't get pussy ecclesiastically. And I didn't know how to fuck. All right, I know. Ladies, be quiet. Don't reveal yourselves. Don't reveal yourselves. But by the way, this was the plan the entire time. This is what I described in the book, The Free Agent Lifestyle. But people missed that part of the lesson. You didn't miss that part. You missed that part of the lesson. Hey, coach, man, she only likes the lifestyle. She really don't like you. And so that's like your wife's gonna be around you if you buy her a house versus when you live in an apartment. You live in an apartment so long, she's gonna fucking leave you. You buy her a house, she'll stick around. Not that hard to figure out. Yeah, the building together. That's another guys that live their lives through women. We're gonna build together. You mean struggle love? You mean you want your girl who can get her job on her own to struggle with you so you can build together? But you won't build on your own. Why can't you build on your own? Why can't you build on your own? Why do you have to build together with a woman? Today, you can build on your own. By the way, the women are clearly demonstrating they can build on their own. I think women are doing a good job being independent compared to the men. They build on their own. They have a strong sense of themselves. Now, they cry at long. They got their own emotional problems and financial problems, but they do a good job doing something with nothing. Okay. Men do an absolutely disgraceful job. All right. Men do minimalizing. They'll live on a twin mattress. They'll live in a motherfucking ramshackle apartment. They'll live with their mama. They literally will go backwards and regress, have emotional, they'll have a stunted growth. They'll never grow up. And then you're like, well, why? Well, these women don't appreciate. You're doing all of that because the women don't appreciate it. That's crazy. That's crazy work. You're literally going to regress in life because women don't recognize you or appreciate you or give you attention. Insanity. Insanity. Building together. Nobody builds together anymore. Everybody basically takes what they have and brings it together and they say, put it in a pot. That at best. Shout out to our brother Stephen Barber says, thanks, big dog. Shout out to you. Thank you. Shout out to you.
And that's you.
What about this? Because you guys know I'm a toy collector. I collect cars. I have motorcycles. Women will come over, especially when they're single, and they're like, oh, I like to ride on your motorcycle. If they got into a relationship with me, motorcycles are dangerous. Why do you buy those action figures and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and baseball cards and Pokemon cards? They basically convince you that you shouldn't do it anymore. and that it's immature for you to do it, and that you won't get no hoes and her pussy gonna dry up because you got a collection of motherfucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Well, go fuck yourself. All right, I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards because as an investment. Okay, I don't play with them all the time, but these are just collectibles. But because you want to live your life through women, you stop doing collectibles. But I'll take a bitch and buy a World Wrestling Federation action figure right next to her on a date. All right, I'm in Target and she getting motherfucking makeup and shit and spray that she can hold her makeup on, and I'm showing up with a Paul Mr. Wonderful Orndorff action figure. I'll be like, put that in there. Right? She looking like, oh shit, what is that? You bought a toy? Yes, the fuck I did. And I'm gonna put it in my collection room when I get home. All right, fuck you. I don't give a fuck what you think, and you gonna fuck me anyway because because I got payment on it. So you can judge me if you want, but some niggas will be like, man, no woman gonna respect you if you out here collecting action figures. I don't give a fuck. All right, who cares? Nigga, nobody, they gonna respect you if you out here riding motorcycles when you marry. You better put away those toys. Dave Ramsey voice. Put away those toys. Sell your motorcycle. Sell your boat. Sell your truck. Why? Because I got a wife? Sell your truck. Get rid of your toys. Get rid of those comic book collections. No, I won't. I will not. All right, man, it's crazy work out here. Shout out to our brother here. Kalen, he has something to say about monogamy, albeit he's a celebrity. The only man right now who's successfully not living his life through women is Michael B. Jordan. He's succeeding after a breakup, and now women who have doubted him wanted to backtrack their statements after he won an Oscar. Continue to grind, man. Shout out to you. And I don't think Michael B. Jordan is falling for the marriage thing yet. So he is living somewhat independent, but dare I go a little bit further in that conversation because it can get a lot personal. I've covered it before, but when I know a man's at the JUCO, the man's at the JUCO. All right. But I'm not going to go any further than that. Okay. Because it's none of my business and I'm not trying to out people. But yes, that's the real. Shout out to our brother here. MS81 says, what do you think about the Stingers? What do you think about the Stingers since they share wives? Do you mean swing?